Hello, this is Bill Brown, and in this video we're going to look at 3 of the most common finger picking patterns that I use on the guitar. What I want to do first is get you to play a few chords over here that we will use to learn these patterns. So we'll need our standard G chord, where finger 2 is on the 6th string, 3rd fret, finger 1 is on the 5th string, 2nd fret, and finger 3 is on the 1st string, 3rd. Of course, if you're used to playing it this way, you can do that as well. I'll also need the E minor, so that's my 5th string, 2nd fret, 4th string, 2nd fret. Everything else is open. For one of the other rolls, what I want to use is a C chord. And this is my 3rd finger on the 5th string, 3rd fret, finger 2 is on the 4th string, 2nd, finger 1 is on the 2nd string, 1st. Then I'll also need what we call a C major 7, and all I have to do is take this C chord that I have here and take my 1st finger off of the 2nd string. That's a C major 7, and then the other chord I want is a C add 9, which will keep these 2 fingers where they are, fingers 3 and finger 2, and just add your 4th finger to the 2nd string, 3rd fret. So I'll need those 3 chords for one of the other patterns. C chord, C major 7, C add 9. And for the 3rd pattern, I want to use these 2 chords. Actually, let's go for 3. And that way you can really appreciate the roll that we're about to learn with it, or with these 3 chords. I have finger 2 on the top string, 2nd fret, and finger 3 is on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. That's all I need. And this is an F sharp minor 7 suspended. Then I'm going to take these 2 fingers up 2 frets. And this is the E chord with the G sharp in the bass. And then the 3rd chord, what we'll do is we'll move the 3rd finger up 2 frets. But we'll take the 2nd finger off and instead bring in the 1st finger to the 6th string, 5th fret. So you should have the 6th string, 5th fret with finger 1. And on the 3rd string you should have the 6th fret with finger 3. And this is an A add 2. So once again we have the 2nd fret, strings at 6 and 3, F sharp minor 7 suspended, move it up 2 frets, E with the G sharp in the bass, up 2 frets and make it a crooked shape so that we have the top string 5th fret, 3rd string 6th, and that's an A add 2. So work on that batch of chords, then come back here, and we will take those chords and I will show you the 3 most commonly used finger picking accompaniment patterns that I use and really that most guitar players use. As you can see, I've repositioned the camera so you can see my picking hand better. And you'll notice that I have fingernails on my thumb, index, middle ring, and also my little finger, because sometimes I'll use it. Proper technique is the thumb hits downward, the other fingers strike upward. And you'll notice that I'm moving the fingers into the hand. And I'm not using the hand to help me like, you don't want to do that. You want the fingers to stay stable, the hand to stay stable especially, and let all the fingers work from there. So let's start with the first pattern we had. What I want to show you is what we call a 6/8 time arpeggio. And it's a combination of a forward and a backward roll. So grab the G chord that we talked about earlier, that one right there. And what's going to happen is the thumb will play the 6th string. Next, the index finger will upstroke the 3rd. The middle finger will upstroke the 2nd. The ring finger will upstroke the 1st. Then come back and play the 2nd string again with the middle finger. And then the 3rd string again with the index. So this will be 6 events. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's why we call it 6/8. And in particular, it's the accents that we have, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, groups of 3s. But that's your 6/8 time pattern. Some songs that come to mind right away is, of course, Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen, the song that went, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. So that's that 6/8 time pattern. Another one that you hear around Christmas is, Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. So that's our 6/8 time pattern. Now the other pattern I want to show you is what we call just the forward roll. And for that one I want to use the F sharp minor 7 suspended. the E major 7, or the E with the G sharp in the bass rather, and then the A add 2. And those are the ones that had the 2nd fret, 4th fret, 5th fret. So grab the first one, the F sharp minor 7 suspended. And what we're going to do down in the picking hand is we're going to do 6th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, and then repeat that. So we'll have 8 events. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So after you do that, roll twice for that one. I want you to go to the next chord, the E with the G sharp in the bass, and that's where we just slid up 2 frets. And let's do the pattern twice with it. And by the way, doing the pattern twice gives us a complete measure of 4 counts. The way we count this, if the beat is 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going. So for every beat, I'm doing 2 notes. And that's why we call them 8th notes, because they get half of a beat. So therefore, I have to have 8 events to fill an entire measure. And then we'll go to the A add 2. That was one that was crooked. And you can see it right there, 5th fret, 6th fret. And then same pattern twice. I actually did it 2 measures, didn't I? So that'd be 8 total. So let's do a full measure of the F sharp minor 7 suspended. So that's 2 patterns. We'll do a full measure of the E of the G sharp. And then let's do 2 measures of the A add 2. And that'll be a good exercise. And that's just called a forward roll. Now let's take a look at the last one, which is a little more complex, and it's called a Travis picking pattern. And it's named after Merle Travis, who kind of invented the little thumb style. Let me get my thumb pick for that. And part of what he did was keep the thumb on the beat. And of course, later on, Chet Atkins came along and kind of cleaned it up a little bit and made it a little more surgical. But the basic idea is the thumb is on the beat. So the pattern we're going to learn is the pattern that goes with Dust in the Wind. It also goes along with Marry Me by Train. And I believe there's an acoustic version of Breathe by Pearl Jam where they use the same pattern. But here's what it sounds like. And what's really important, notice the thumb is on the beat. That's the hallmark of the Travis picking pattern. So grab your C chord, and what we're going to do with the picking hand is we'll play the 5th and 2nd strings together. Now once again, the thumb strikes down. The middle finger, which is playing that 2nd string, will strike upwards. So both fingers are moving in towards the hand. There's a pause there. This one gets twice as many counts as the rest of the pattern. The next we're going to go 4th and then 3rd strings, and that was the thumb hitting the 4th string with a downstroke, and then the index hitting the 3rd string with an upstroke. So far we have this. We're pinching 5 and 2, then 4th, 3rd. Now next we'll play the 5th string again, followed by the 2nd string. And notice they were separate, they weren't pinched. So here's what we have so far. Pinch 5 and 2, 4th, 3rd, 5th, 2nd, and then all that's left is another 4th, 3rd. Now to get you familiar with the Dust in the Wind pattern, we'll do that C chord one time with this pattern, then take finger 1 off of the chord to give me the C major 7. We'll do one of those. Add your 4th finger to the 2nd string 3rd fret, now do the pattern. That's our C add 9, and then go back to the C and start over again. Now let me point point out one other thing with my picking technique. Notice my thumb stays in front of my finger. I'm going to turn around just a little bit like this so you can see me do the patterns. You don't want to do this. You want that thumb in front of the fingers, and you want the hand as flat as you can get it. I still have a little bit of an angle to the palm of my hand, so it's not totally flat like that. But you want the fingers to be able to just float above the strings. Notice I'm not supporting my hand by anchoring my little finger. Now, if I was using a guitar that had more narrower string width between the strings, I might would have to do that. But this is my Taylor 514, and it has a wider nut, and so what happens, you have more space in between the strings. If I had my classical, it's a 2-inch wide nut, so you have even more space between the strings. So you're not as likely to hit a wrong string. But if you have a more narrow neck, you may catch yourself having to do that just to stabilize. And I'm just anchoring my little finger on the top of the guitar. But you still want that thumb hitting in front of the other fingers. And especially if you have the thumb pick, that really makes a big difference. That's that Travis picking pattern. Well, great. Work with those.